Here's a situation we see all the time in Vietnam. A company receives a short-term foreign loan, maybe for 6 months, maybe 9, with a clear plan in mind: use the funds, repay the loan on time, and move on. But in reality, things don't always go according to plan. Operations often take longer than expected, cash flow priorities shift, and repayment schedules get pushed back. And before the company even realizes it, that short-term loan quietly turns into a long-term obligation. What many companies don't realize is that this change isn't just financial, it's legal. And if the right steps aren't taken in time, your company could be sitting on an unregistered long-term foreign loan, along with all the compliance risks that come with it. In this video, we'll explain how short-term foreign loans convert into long-term loans under Vietnamese regulations, what triggers that conversion, and what you should do to stay compliant before deadlines are missed. Let's start with the basics. Under Vietnamese regulations, a short-term foreign loan is generally defined as a loan with a term of 12 months or less, calculated from the date of the first disbursement. So what happens if that loan isn't fully repaid within those 12 months? Or if repayment is extended, even informally, beyond the original plan? In practice, once a loan passes the 12-month mark and still has outstanding principal, it is typically reclassified as a long-term foreign loan. And this conversion happens automatically. There doesn't need to be a new agreement. There doesn't need to be a formal amendment. The simple fact that the principal remains unpaid after 12 months is enough to trigger the reclassification, and with it, the requirement to register the loan with the authorities. This is where many companies run into trouble. When a short-term loan quietly becomes long-term, but the company fails to register it, the loan may be considered non-compliant under Vietnam's foreign exchange regulations. That can lead to very real, very practical consequences. Banks may reject repayment or interest remittance requests. Companies may face administrative penalties for late or missing registration. The issue may surface during tax audits or inspections, creating additional scrutiny. And in some cases, the legal enforceability of the loan itself can become unclear. In short, ignoring the conversion doesn't make the problem disappear, it usually makes it harder to fix later. So what should you do when a short-term loan is approaching the 12-month mark? The first step is simple but critical: track the timeline carefully. Confirm the exact date of the first disbursement, and identify when the 12-month period will end. If repayment is unlikely to be completed by that date, preparation should start early. In most cases, that means reviewing the loan structure and preparing for long-term loan registration. This typically involves updating the loan documentation where necessary, preparing a full registration dossier, classifying the loan correctly, and submitting the registration through the official system designated by the State Bank of Vietnam. Timing matters here. Registering after the loan has already converted can itself create compliance issues, so early action makes a real difference. Now, let's say the 12-month period has already passed, and the loan wasn't registered in time. The most important thing is not to panic, but also not to delay further. In practice, companies may need to prepare an explanation for the late registration, complete the required filings, and address any administrative penalties that may apply. The sooner the issue is dealt with, the easier it is to minimize disruption to repayments, banking transactions, and future audits. This is also the stage where professional legal support becomes especially valuable. At LTS Law Firm, we regularly assist foreign invested companies facing exactly this situation: short-term loans that have converted, or are about to convert, into long-term obligations. Our team works closely with clients to review disbursement timelines, assess registration requirements, prepare and submit the necessary documents, and coordinate with banks and relevant authorities. Whether you're planning ahead or already overdue, our goal is always the same: to help you resolve the issue efficiently, clearly, and with minimal impact on your operations. One of the most effective ways to avoid these problems is simply to plan ahead. Before taking a short-term foreign loan, it's worth asking a few practical questions. Is repayment within 12 months genuinely realistic? What's the contingency plan if repayment is delayed? And do you have internal reminders in place to track the 12-month deadline? A proactive approach, even a basic internal checklist, can save months of legal and operational complications down the road. If your company currently has a short-term foreign loan, or is considering one, now is the right time to clarify your obligations. Don't wait until a short-term loan quietly turns into a long-term compliance issue. Contact LTS Law Firm for clear, practical guidance on foreign loan conversion and registration in Vietnam. Visit www.lts.com.vn or reach out to our legal team for a confidential consultation. When it comes to foreign loans in Vietnam, a small delay today can quickly become a much bigger problem tomorrow, and that's something you can absolutely avoid.